Now, as we head into another summer with extreme drought conditions, wildfire fighters are gearing up for what is likely another busy season. But it's not just about the number of fires, it's when they burn. And a new study finds that task could get a lot more demanding at night. Science and climate specialist Darius Mahdavi is back with more. Darius, why is this study so significant?
I don't think it would be exaggerating to say that this paper really changes the way we think about fires. It shows that thanks to climate change and extreme drought, the active days, quiet nights model of fire activity is failing us. As more and more fires burn through the night, researchers were looking at the frequency of what we call overnight burning events, where a fire burns right through the night into the next day. Now, these are really challenging to fight, especially because they used to be so rare, so we often don't have the equipment needed. Generally, at night, temperature goes down, relative humidity goes up, which makes the fire go quiet. It can still burn, but slowly and without posing many problems. But that's changing. From 2017 to 2020, researchers found over 350 fires across the U.S. and Canada that burned overnight, some of them through several nights, and most of them here on the West Coast. I spoke with wildfire expert Mike Flannigan, who explained the driving forces.
It's drier and drier. There's more fuel available to burn, which leads to a higher intensity fire. So building up that energy that kind of allows it, it's like a freight train. It's just, if it's going fast enough, it keeps on rolling even after you've stopped giving it the gas.
Flannigan also told me that when they started this research, he expected warm overnight temperatures to play the biggest role. But they're finding that drought is actually the major factor is particularly bad news for those of us here on the drought-prone West Coast, which, in combination with massive wildfires, introduces all sorts of added risks.
Drought may be playing a role in these fire-generated thunderstorms, pyrocumulonimbus, pyro-CBs for short. These are erratic, dangerous events, and these are, often associated with fires that can burn through the night.
Darius, what does this mean for firefighting efforts?
Not all fires will result in overnight burning events, just like they don't now. They're still relatively uncommon in the grand scheme of things, considering how many fires we have. But as we heard from Flannigan, at least some level of forecasting is possible. But knowing what will happen is a far cry from preventing it. As we saw last year, firefighters are already stretched thin. And this isn't just one more added pressure. In many ways, it's a whole different ballgame.
Using aircraft, you have to be able to fly at night. You want night vision and, the specialized training and equipment that goes with that. Alberta does have a helicopter with night vision that can be used for nighttime operations. California does it, but most jurisdictions don't.
What does that mean for this season? Well, snowpack levels and the upcoming potentially warm and dry season mean that it could be difficult to see really any change in what we saw last year in terms of all these overnight burning events. But it shouldn't be a surprise that in a changing climate, on a changing planet, our fires are changing too. As Flannigan told me, we've seen more area burned in the last 7 years than the 58 years before that. And as last summer made abundantly clear, a fire that spreads overnight poses a particular danger to British Columbians, their homes, and the people protecting them. So it may not just be the way we think about fires that has to change, but how we fight them as well.
Darius Mahdavi, thanks very much.